This video is for eyebrow and lip wax. So we're going to start all our videos as if we are just arriving to work. So the first thing that we want to do is wash our hands. Shocker. We are going to wet our hands, find some liquid hand soap, wash our hands down to our wrist, wash the back of our hands down to our wrist, wash our fingers, wash the backs of our fingers, wash our fingertips and nails, wash between our fingers, wash between our fingers and our thumbs, wash our thumbs, wash our wrists. All of that for a minimum of 20 to 30 seconds. When we are clean, you're going to rinse them off under the water, proper rinse, and then grab either a clean towel or disposable paper towel, and you're going to turn off the sink. You're going to thoroughly dry your hands off. You can toss those disposable paper towels and then find your hand sanitizer, 70% ethyl alcohol, and go ahead and finish that sanitizing step. And then you're going to be able to look to your room and set up for that first client. So first client today is, like I said, eyebrow wax and lip wax. So let's talk about what we need to do to prepare our space for that client. So we have to get the room ready. So let's talk about how we prepare the space. We will disinfect our workstation, bed, and equipment using a disinfectant wipe and follow manufacturer's instructions. You're going to check equipment to ensure that all devices are in safe working order and plugged into a working receptacle. Make sure your wax is on. Gather clean supplies needed for the facial service. Store it in a clean closed container. Dispense products needed for the service. Prepare disposable portion cups for each product with a portion of the product by opening the top of the container and ensuring the tip of the nozzle does not come into contact with the disposable portion cup or tray, or remove the product with a disinfected or clean single-use spatula. Close the lid to the product and set the portion cup or tray on the tray. Place disposable table paper on the disinfected bed to ensure that wax does not fall on the bed. And then you want to make sure you have what you need on your tray. So we're going to review that because that's what they were talking about, how to get stuff out for your tray. So let's talk about what we have on our tray. We've got cotton rounds, and we also have those gauze squares. We have our pre-epilation. We have powder. This is our wax. Obviously, it would be in a wax pot. Wax remove, extra wax remove, and then post-epilation, soothing, calming. We have tweezers. We have disposable gloves because this is a service that you perform gloved. We have our wax strips. We've got our little sticks that we apply the wax with in different sizes. I do have little scissors here in case I need to cut strips. I've got paper towels, just some extra things. If I need to wipe my hands or wipe something down, wipe my gloves down, I'll have gloves on. And then we have set our bed up. We have all the things that we need for our client. We have to wait till our client arrives, and then we're going to talk about our client consultation, which is what we're going to do now. So just note that you clean your hands before you set up your area, but you would also be having clean hands to meet your client. So of course our hands are clean, but we are going to go meet and greet our client. So let's do that and do our client evaluation consultation. So we are going to greet our client Sue, that's our client's name, and take her to the work area. We're going to assess her client's current style and determine the client's preferences. We'll assess the client's needs, assess the client's skin by performing a visual skin analysis to ensure that there is no inflamed, infected, broken, raised, or swollen skin in the area to be worked on, or an open wound or sore in the area to be worked on, an infection or infestation, for example, lice, to prevent from safely performing the service. We're going to assess the client's consultation form for any medications and products used within the last 72 hours, and we're going to consult them on any known allergies. Super important. We're going to consult with the client on any facial surgeries within the last 3 months, and if they're currently under a physician's care. We're going to assess if the client is prone to cold sores or fever blisters. We'll assess if the client has used exfoliating or lightening agents within the last 72 hours, like alpha hydroxy acids, beta hydroxy acids, hydroquinone, etc. We'll assess facial injections within the last 3 weeks, like Botox or hyaluronic fillers. If the client is free from any of those contraindications, we can proceed with the service, and Sue is totally fine. So we're going to get her comfortable, and then we'll, of course, have to wash our hands again and put gloves on. So let's take her to the facial bed for her waxing. Now, this service she doesn't need to disrobe for. I've got the bed already covered and prepared, but we're going to get her comfortable. So I have a rolled towel that I'm going to place underneath her neck. And I've also got a headband that I'm going to keep her hair out of the way with. We want to make sure that it's not going to get any wax on it. And it's going to be out of the way of her brows and lip or anywhere that we might apply wax. So you may want a headband and hairnet if you're super messy, but you should be fine. And then I'm going to actually, you can put a drape on or a towel on. What I'm doing here is making sure that her clothing or décolleté skin, if skin was out, is completely covered. I wouldn't want any wax to get on her or her skin or her clothing. So she's comfortable. And so now we have to prepare for the next steps of the service. So this is where we would re-wash hands. So we wet our hands and we get that coin-sized liquid hand soap, washing down to the wrist. We wash the back of our hands down to the wrist. We're going to wash our fingers. We are going to wash the backs of our fingers, of course, fingertips and nails, between the fingers and the thumbs. The thumbs we're going to wash, the wrist we're going to wash, all of this, good 20-30 seconds, really good washing here. And then that's a minimum of 20 to 30 seconds. Rinse everything thoroughly, properly rinsed hands. Then you're going to go ahead and grab that disposable paper towel to turn the water off. Keep those towels or grab more if you need them, but that's how you got to dry everything off. Toss the paper towels in the trash, and then get your hand sanitizer with 70% ethyl alcohol and go ahead and finish your hand wash with your sanitizer. Now, you have to get these hands dry because we got to put disposable gloves on. And there's nothing worse than putting gloves on with wet hands. So we are going to now get our gloves on. So make sure you're good and dry. Okay. So the first thing that we're going to do is get our client assessed, and then I will we're going to get the client assessed, and then I will check the wax on my hands, on my arm. So what we're going to do is I am going to assess the hair growth pattern so I can see that her hair grows out and down and how much I need to remove. And then what I'm going to do is go ahead and get this area ready. So I'm going to take my cotton rounds here with a little bit of that pre-epilation product and go ahead and remove anything that could potentially make the wax less effective. So anything like moisturizer, makeup, sunscreen, her own sebum, like all of that, we got to get it off. So we're going to take a minute here to do these first steps, and we're just going to prepare the whole brow together, even though I'm going to be working on one brow at a time. And we're going to make sure that we remove, and then we're going to dry everything off. with our powder step, and that's really, really important. Really want everything to be as dry as it possibly can. Be. And that looks great. So now we're beautifully dry, and we need to then, we're beautifully dry. So now we need to check the wax on me before I can do the wax on her. So that's what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to check the temperature of the wax. I'm sorry, I'm just thinking about all these videos and all the things that are going on in my head. I didn't mean to be distracted. And we're going to apply the wax on the inside of my arm to check the temperature. And then it feels great to me. Let me remove this wax. It's perfect. So I know that I can now go in here for Sue and safely, comfortably, not having it too hot when it touches on her skin. So let's go ahead and do that right now and get it started. So I'm going to do underneath the brow first, and I'm going to obviously apply the wax with the direction of the hair growth. And underneath her brow, it goes like out, but when you get towards the edge where her, like the highest point of her arch, it starts to grow down. So I have to apply the wax in a downward motion right there. So we've got out and we've got down. And that's exactly how you're going to separate and figure out where and how to remove. You're going to go in these two directions. So I'm going to go ahead and place this wax remover strip, and I'm pressing the same direction of the hair growth, and then I am going to hold the skin nice and tight, and then I'm going to pull the strip in the opposite direction to remove the hair, and then I'm going to press into the skin to help with the sting a little bit. So that was the first direction. Now I'm going to go in a different direction to remove this hair. I'm going to be pressing down because that's the way that hair grows. And then I'm going to be pulling the strip up, but I need to hold the skin tight and taut first, and then press to help relieve a little bit of the sting. I see a teensy bit of wax right there, but we're going to get that with the remove. Okay, so let's go on the top of the brow now. And once again, there's those two different directions. So I'm going to apply the wax first in this direction, and then I will go down. Once I go past that little arch area, then the hair starts to grow in a downward direction. It's kind of up and out, and then it goes down and out. Beautiful. And really, honestly, this particular time, not a lot of hair to tweeze. I see a few, but let's go ahead and remove with our little wax remover. If there's any residue of wax, I do see a few little places, so I just want to go over the brow and get any additional wax. You definitely do not want to leave that on there for the client. Sticky and uncomfortable, and you want to be able to then go back in and tweeze. So let's get that off. I've got a cotton round, and then when I go in with my tweezers, I love angled tweezers, by the way, because they make your job really easy. I'm going to be removing the hair in the direction of the hair growth. So you know where I apply the wax down, I would be pulling down. Where I apply the wax out in an outward direction, I would be pulling it outward. That way it comes right out of that hair follicle, and you don't have to worry about it breaking off and then growing back in quickly. So that's exactly what you need to think about when you're tweezing. I live for a tweezer. I love a tweezer. Wax did really good, and she doesn't have super coarse hair, so there's not a lot of hair here really left over. The wax took what we needed it to take. So what we're going to do is move to the other brow and do exactly the same thing on the other side for brow number 2. So I'm going outward, and then I'm going downward. Hold the skin tight, and you're going to pull opposite direction, press. Hold the skin, opposite direction, press. And I'm going to take this nice press here away in the direction of the hair growth. We're going to hold the skin tight. We're going to remove, and we're going to press. hold it tight and press. And that really is just like the other side, because her hair is not as coarse, really looks good, doesn't have a lot of tweezing to do. So let's do our little remove here. We still have this center brow to take care of, so let's just remove any excess wax for this brow, and then we're gonna go right to the center. Of the brow. And that hair grows down, so make sure you apply your wax in that downward direction. Hold your skin nice and tight here. Rip up and then press for that relief. See, there's a little bit right there, and then we're gonna do our remove. I didn't really see a lot to tweeze over there, so I'm just gonna give it a quick tweeze when I do the center as well. If there's something that needs it, let's take a peek here after I get this excess wax off. And let me get these little, nothing in the center here, just a few little baby hairs here in the bridge of the nose, which you really would not have been able to wax. Remember, we've got to remove the hair in the hair growth, so it's down, so I'm going to be removing, pulling it out, down, out, down. And we're going to go over here and just give this a double, triple check right here. This one had a little bit more than I thought it did. Just taking the time to really do the right thing for the client and getting all of the hair that I needed to. You know, they're sisters, they're not twins. One's always thicker, one's always thinner. So this is her thicker side. Just looking at her lashes. Okay. So the nice thing is now those brows are done, we still have the lip to do, but we need to soothe this brow first. So let's give it a little, it's been through a lot. Our post-epilation right here, going in that direction of the hair growth. Oh, thank you so much. It feels so nice. The skin is like, oh my gosh, it's heaven. Heavenly, heavenly, heavenly. She looks gorgeous. The brows are gorgeous. Oops. So let's move on to the lip. So we're going to give that lip the same care and love and analysis that we do with the brows. We're just looking at the hair growth pattern. I see that the hair in the center here is growing down, and on the little sides of the lips here, the hair is coming down. We've got a little outward, downward, outward with this part of the lip. So not too hard or complicated to figure out. Nothing looks crazy. Once again, she doesn't have very, very thick, coarse hair, but I do see it and it's dark, so she wants to remove it. I understand that completely. I remove mine. So let's do our first pre-epilation remove, where we're going to take away any makeup, moisturizer, oil, SPF, I mean the whole 9 yards. We want to get this area good and clean, and then we're going to get it good and dry. Those things really matter in order for the skin to be protected and the hair to come out, for everything to work well and easily, and then for the client not to get irritated. You want to do all the right things for your clients. So we're doing our best here, doing these things that really matter. So let's get powder on this bad boy right here. Lots of powder. And I wish you could see this in the camera, but you can't. It actually, the skin, even of the mannequin, goes matte. Like not shiny as in flat matte. Like you can tell that it's dried, that there's no moisture, which I think is so interesting. Which is exactly what you want for your client. You want it to look matte and powdery and dry. No dewy whatsoever at this point, which I can't believe I'm saying because I want dewy skin every second of my life and I always fight to get it. Okay, so we're gonna start on this side and you're gonna do the whole shebang before you do any tweezing because it's not like two eyebrows, it's one area. So let's knock it out. So I'm gonna apply the wax in the direction of the hair growth. And I'm going down and out. And I'm pressing down and away like the way the hair grows, and then before I remove this, I'm going to pull the skin nice and tight, and I'm going to pull it the opposite direction and then press down so that that sting, this area is very tender. So it's so nice when you feel that press come in because it really is. Here, I need to trim some of these real quick. We need some shorter pieces here. It really is like heavenly because this area hurts, no joke. So please do not hesitate to press that finger as quickly as you can. All right, we've got this part. We're going to hold the skin tight and we're going to pull up and press. Nice. And now we're not going to waste any time. We are rocking and rolling to the other side because nobody wants this step to linger. That upper lip is like, bleh. And she has been such a little trooper. Never complains, just lets you do whatever. I mean, my goodness, hold the skin tight. I mean, could you imagine being waxed over and over again for a million videos? Not really true, but you know. What would I do without Sue? She is the reason for the season. Okay, we're pulling the skin tight, we're pulling up, and we're pressing. And now we're going to get in there to the hard to reach little place, which is right between our sides of our mouth, right in the middle, right under the nose. How we have that little dip that comes down, and we need to make sure that we apply the wax the direction of the hair growth, and that's down, and there's a little bit on the sides of those little like high peaks where the hair is as well. You want to get up to the nostril. That's hard to reach, and let's get this hair out for her. Last thing, Sue, I promise, last little bit of hair removal. Okay, we're gonna hold the skin tight, pull it up, press. She made it. Excellent. I do see a few hairs, so I'm just gonna take this chance to do our remove the wax bit. Any wax residue so I can tweeze these last few hairs and get her out of here and home and or onto her day wherever she is headed. So let's get some tweezies and our little handy dandy cotton round. We've got some here, so that goes down. And really we don't have any going out, but we've got a few under the nose as well, and that goes down. This is the hardest to reach. We've got some on this side, and we've got a few of these down. So the pulling it this way worked really well this time. Her waxing worked really well. Okay, she's good. So let's soothe her because she's really miserable right now. She's not though, she doesn't say she's miserable. I'm just saying that. Let's give her that post-epilation, that cooling fresh. Oh, she's so happy. And then you can present your work to your client. Look at that. Yeah, man. Come on. Gorgeous. So she's super happy. Let's get her checked out. We're going to get her drape off. You're going to get your disposable gloves off. You are going to take her to discuss any maintenance or aftercare that she might have or questions. And then you need to get prepared for your next client. So you got her checked out, you booked her for her next appointment, she's good to go. You need to get back to your room and you need to toss all of your single-use items that you haven't yet, like your sticks and your etc. So that's going in the trash. There they go. You need to take your soiled implements and you need to put them in a closed container labeled to be disinfected. You will take all of the linens and put them in a closed container until it's time to do the laundry. Everything from your bed, towels, everything. And then you're going to identify a cleaning solution. Read the manufacturer directions. Follow the manufacturer's directions for mixing and usage. You're going to wipe down your workstation and area, removing all debris with that cleaning solution. And then you're going to identify a disinfectant that is bactericidal, virucidal, fungicidal, EPA approved and safe for use in a salon setting, which means you got to put those disposable gloves back on. You're going to follow the manufacturer's directions for mixing and usage, mixing and or using appropriate aerosol disinfectant. You will disinfect electrical equipment, store it in a clean area, separate from other implements. And then you're going to wash your hands before you set up your next client's area. So wet your hands, get that liquid hand soap, coin size, wash down to the wrist. You're going to wash the back of your hands down to your wrist. You're going to wash your fingers and you're going to wash the back of your fingers. You're going to wash between your fingers and you're going to wash between your fingers and your thumbs. You're going to wash your fingertips and nails. You're going to wash your thumbs and you're going to wash your wrist. You're going to do all of that for a minimum of 20 to 30 seconds. Rinse thoroughly at the sink, underneath the water. When you're properly rinsed, reach for those disposable paper towels and turn that faucet off. Then dry your hands thoroughly with those disposable paper towels. You can trash it. And then you're going to identify and find your hand sanitizer that has 70% ethyl alcohol. And then you'll sanitize your hands. And then you'll be ready to set up for your next service and client, because you've done all the right things. So that is the end of the video for brow and lip wax.